7:18, a look at traffic. An earlier crash on Madison Avenue. Madison at 80 has traffic backed up to Antelope Road on westbound 80. And a bit of a slowdown now northbound 99 at 12th Avenue. Traffic brought to you by Zero Res Sacramento. Lots of foot traffic in your home? Go to ZeroResSacramento.com for a longer lasting clean. Speaking of clean, here's Dan in Sonoma.
Sean, good morning. I'm going to talk today on the Call It Prep Board about two war zones. The first is Chicago. It's Monday, so let's talk about the Chicago shooting report, which was all over the place. Literally the fog of war, because there were a lot of... Normally it's a pretty cut and dry report from ABC News Chicago, but there's so many shootings and so much chaos, I couldn't get a clear gauge of everything, no pun intended. 43 shot, 7 dead, including a 9-year-old girl. And two of the people shot were two little girls in, 7 or 8 or something along those lines there. And most likely what was going on was it could be connected. I'm doing a bit of a stretch here. They were celebrating in Chicago the attack from Iran to Israel, so that could be part of it. Who knows? Literally, I don't know how chaotic it is over there, but this was a very bad weekend.
It was a bad weekend as far as that goes. I selfishly had a pretty good weekend, Dan.
Well, I'm happy for you. We should enjoy these good weekends while we can. I don't know how many are left. Second war zone is
that's my point.
Yeah. The second war zone is of course, in Israel. Dennis Prager had mentioned something on his Minute segment both last week, and he sort of doubled down this morning regarding the hostages in Israel, that he suspects that most of them are dead, if not all of them are dead. And the example he used last week was that Israel gave a very generous offer of 6 weeks of ceasefire and 1,000 or so maybe prisoners returned, and Hamas surprisingly said no. And Prager made the assumption that's because they don't have any more bargaining chips left with the hostages because they've been tortured to death and they're no longer in existence. Now, if that's true, Israel should exploit that because, again, they're getting a ton of pressure from the U.S. and from the UN about this the attack. As Dan from Elk Grove pointed out, the UN Secretary General said, "Oh no, this is terrible. We denounce Iran for doing this, but I demand a ceasefire right now." In other words, Israel, you just take it and don't do anything in return. The media has made the Israel look like the aggressors and the villain in this war. There's two CBS News stories that caught my attention. One was that the strike from Israel is a retaliatory strike from Israel, apparently launching an attack in Damascus. And although there's no proof of that, but still, I'm looking at these people who are writing the story. They're clearly making this as Israel as the enemy here. So with Israel alone and by herself, because again, the U.S. is no longer involved. They're not going to be doing anything. Now they're going to be switching to being in Israel's way. Somebody I used to listen to a long time ago, his name was Roy Masters. He was a very, very interesting man. He knew quite a bit about politics, even though he didn't like talking about politics. He had predicted that if Israel ever finds itself alone, she will have to defend herself, including using nuclear weapons. And I can see that's where we're headed right now, because if Israel runs out of ammunition, and if they find themselves back to a corner, they won't have any other choice. Now, where that's going to happen? Probably Iran, most likely. Maybe Syria. Who knows? Who knows? But Israel is an incredibly powerful military force. They'll use it if they have to. That'll destabilize the region for quite a while. I mean, we've got well over $6 a gallon of gas here in Sonoma. I bet you it's going to top 7, 8. If nuclear war breaks out, who knows? The sky's the limit. $15, $20 a gallon. Don't laugh about that, guys. That's what we're facing here.
Dan, I think I'm going to go back home and work on my yard.
You should. Get it clean for the Armageddon.
It's only 7:22 on Monday, and I'm already depressed.
Yes, again, I excel.
The media is painting Israel to be the bad guy, but not everybody's falling for that. Sadly, the U.S. can't really do much right now. If something really bad happens, what are we going to do? I don't even like to say we, because I'm not on the side of our government. As far as I'm concerned, our government is filled with traitors.
Well, and we depend on one party, and that's the Republican Party, for literally everything. And I don't hear a damn thing from these people on any level.
No, and I don't think we will.
And with this trial coming up with Donald Trump, again, where's the defense from the Republican Party? This is an unbelievable outrage and a raw perversion of the law.
They don't like him either. They don't look at the big picture. It is a joke. It's a travesty of justice. But they don't care. That's what humans are just tragic figures. That's just there's no hope.
I've got a great idea. Let me come to your house and I'll help you with your yard.
Good idea. We need to fell a tree, Dan. Can you do it?
I can fell a tree, probably on top of myself, but I can fell it.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I was hoping that no one would get injured in this process.
Well, it's either that or we jump off the bridge.
Nah. If the tree doesn't get us, nothing will.
All right, bud. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.
Take care. 7:24.